Okay, welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, to Game 2 between Yellow Submarines and Team Liquid. We saw Yellow Submarines in Game 1 show pretty damn dominant performance and just managed to outclass Team Liquid for the vast majority of that game and managed to close out in their victory. We'll see if Liquid managed to rally and maybe bring themselves back into this game. Who knows? But, I mean, they let Tiger at the very end go for his refresher orb ultimate attempt. Maybe this is a little, maybe it's just like a little lol moment. So maybe they're not in too bad of spirits. They should still be ready to take this game too. Yeah, Submarines, they're going to follow up, start off with a Lone Druid ban. Just going to make sure that doesn't fall into the hands of Koifa. Always a pretty scary thing to go up against. Even going to take away Liquid, take away the Lina. Definitely a hero which is quite flexible in the hands of Yellow Submarine. So Yellow Submarine, they've gone with the Lifestealer ban. So perhaps they're looking to go for that first pickup of the Mars again. So see if maybe that's what Liquid want to ban out. Because I mean, it's mainly, even though yes, Lifestealer is a very strong core, you generally only ever ban it out at the start if you're looking to try and pick up something that he specifically counters, and that is just the Mars. And Liquid are actually going to use up a bit of their reserve time now, thinking about whether it is they're going to ban something else out. So we'll ban out the IO. We're going to see that Mars come out one more time. There's the Mars. Sure as hell. So Liquid actually ban out the IO themselves this time. I mean, every time I see that IO Spectre pairing, it just really flops. It really does. So I'm glad they've just got rid of the IO this time. Take it away from them. Just make sure that they don't end up making the same mistake twice. Keep themselves in this one. So see what they are going to grab for their first pickup. They're actually going to lead up with the Oracle as their first grab. So they're looking to try and go for a very defensive position one then. Maybe they're going to head for that Spectre one more time. I mean, it didn't work last time, but hey, I think that could just be because of the IO pairing. I never liked that. So it could potentially be going for that Spectre pickup. Yellow Submarines, they might even just think about trying to snatch that Spectre away. Maybe they just go down a completely different route. The world's their oyster at this point. Still a very vast hero pool to choose from. It's going to go for the Phoenix. A very staple combo that is that. And Liquid are going to grab the other position one that does relatively well against Mars. And that is the Juggernaut. Just the ability to spin, go straight out of the arena if you ever get caught. Or even just dodge the spears that come out. So it's definitely... It pairs up quite nicely with the Oracle as well. The fact that the Oracle will be able to target the Juggernaut with the Fate's Edict and then try and get a nice cheeky route onto whoever he is trying to chase down. It's always difficult trying to get a kill onto the Phoenix as a Juggernaut because there isn't really an easy way to cancel out just the dive away. So maybe Mars will probably be the only target that they could really potentially get a kill on. Unless, of course, the Phoenix just misplays, which we have seen in other series before, so you just never know. You can't call it just yet. Too early. Too early. So Yellow Submarine heavily focusing all their bans towards Boxy, and Liquid focusing all theirs towards Yutaru. So we'll see what Liquid's going to pick up first. Still got their next support role to pick up, and they are going to grab the Earth Spirit, so that's going to be in the hands of Tiger. Man loves to roll around as this guy. So Yellow Submarine, I think they do like to grab Disruptor. It is just another good support that can easily set up for a Mars Spear, as well as just keeping more further lockdown to keep people stuck in an area and allow the egg to get a good grab on a lot of different people. So might see him potentially go for that as well. Actually going to grab the Enchantress. Okay. So we'll see this probably be that position 5 Enchantress into the hands of Miposhka. So we'll see what core Yellow Submarines are going to pick up to pair with the Enchantress. There's not really too many heroes that really benefit too great from the slow that comes out from the Enchantress. You generally just use the Enchantress as a zoning hero, being able to take those nice big creeps in the early portions of the game and use them to harass out whoever else is actually there trying to contest the your core carry. Liquid, they're after someone who can manage all right when trying to get harassed by creeps. Could potentially see a Doom pickup in the hands of Boxy, and then every time Enchantress rocks up one of those creeps to come out and harass him, you can just devour it straight up. Could be potentially what comes out. Possibly even like a Sand King, maybe? Yeah, actually just go for the Timber Saw. Definitely someone that doesn't really mind getting hit by creep, purely because, you know, it's just more stacks with the reactive armor. Makes it more tanky, more durable, more reliable. So now Yellow Submarine's going to have to make sure they don't pick up a hero which gets easily just wrecked by this Timber Saw. So you can't really go for now like a melee strength core. They're actually going to go for the Anti-Mage. Easily able just to purge, take away a lot of the mana from this Timber Sword. Stops him from just spamming out his Whirling Death and reducing the AM's actual base stats. So that's definitely quite nice, especially with the combo of the Enchantress Slow. Just lets him get even more hits off. So it's definitely going to force Timber to go for some really early levels of the Timber Chains. Just so he could really get away from this damage, I suppose. So, yeah, I'm liking that lineup so far from Yellow Submarines. The Anti-Mage should have a relatively decent time against this Timber Saw. So it's just the mid lane that's left for both heroes. Yellow Submarine's actually banned up the Brood, expecting some serious cheese to come out. Inside of Team Liquid, they don't have any clear egg hitter at the moment. They may not really prioritise that as a key thing they need to worry about too much. So maybe they're just not going to bother at all. There needs to be someone as well who could make some movements onto this anti-mage and try and assist the Timbersaw on bringing him down. Maybe... I would say Bat Rider, but as long as if there's the vision that Yutaro can see him coming, he should always be able to just get an easy blink away and protect himself from that. So Bat Rider wouldn't really be the best answer. It's quite a difficult pickup. And so it's the fact that Anti-Mage is such a natural Manta style builder, and he gets it at pretty early timings as well, so you can't really rely on heroes that just build orchids to try and deal with him. Unless they get an absolutely insanely early orchid and able to delay him as much as they possibly can. Storm Spirit goes in the hands of YellowSubmarines, and then Visage is actually picked up for Liquid. So definitely see maybe if Koifa has a really easy time in this mid lane, get those early birds online. Could definitely use them to assist the gank into the anti-mage, but even still, it's not too difficult for the AM to escape. So we'll see how early Tauron's able to get his Mantis Orchid online, sorry. Maybe he can get that before Mickey's able to get his Manta to actually be able to purge off. That might give him access to get a few early kills, especially with the setups that are going to be coming out from the Mars and the Phoenix as well. As far as lineups go, I think I'm preferring YellowSubmarines. Purely the fact that there isn't like a clear shutdown method for this anti-mage. Because even if the Juggernaut gets on top of the AM, he should just easily be able to just blink himself away. Because the only stuns that they actually have on the side of Liquid are the Boulder from the Earth Spirit, Fate's Edict from Insania. That's not exactly the most reliable, because even that can get mirrored counterspelled away. And then there's the familiar stuns from the Visage, but that's definitely not reliable either. So I think this is a pretty good anti-mage game, that's for sure. So we'll see who's got the grits to take this one. But like I said, I'm definitely favouring towards YellowSubmarines.
Like stealing candy from a baby.
A no longer living baby. Such a morbid voice line, man. That looks like a very ill enchantress. She needs to eat some vegetables.
I'll always remember how foolish you looked.
So I definitely think that the AM's going to have a better time farming. What the fact that even though Mickey can spin off to try and dodge the spear, it's still sometimes quite difficult to dodge it if the Mars has already stood right next to you. So they might be able to get, at least they might not be able to immediately burst Mickey down, but they're going to be able to apply a lot of pressure to him constantly and make this lane pretty damn difficult for him to get easy farming. I think that ward from Tiger even got scouted out by that observer ward, so that's going to get countered pretty soon as well. It will just be a 2-for-2 split, and Sena not wanting to get too ballsy and put himself in the danger zone. Some mass iron branches from Yutaro. Becoming quite the logger as well, destroying all these trees. I'll bring David Attenborough on you, son. He'll sort you out. Oh, a little bit of a misread there from Aposhka. I think he thought that the observer ward was going to be placed there, but ends up misses it completely. Here we go, down the bottom. They actually roll forward, coming out onto Yutaro with the follow-up damage from Boxy. And Yutaro, he'd already actually leveled up the mana break, so he couldn't just blink out of that to reduce a lot of that damage. So he's already starting off this lane pretty low. And he's chopped down all the trees, so he can't even use his Tango. We will just actually have a Sal from Aposhka. Just another way to bring him back up. He went up top, looked like Mickey in return, also getting harassed down quite heavily at the start, and that's going to be another Sal forced out for him as well. So pretty even amongst the two carries across the board. Both getting harassed at the very early portions of this game, but it should settle down now a little bit. No one else should get caught out by those sort of easy combos. Tiger just dragging the creep wave all the way behind his tier 2, taking a lot of damage in the process though. We're in the mid lane, 7-2 to Tauron versus the 6-0 of Koifa. And there's still 3 more creeps to come towards Tauron, so he's definitely had a little bit of a more beneficial start in this laning phase. So bad. Applying a lot of pressure onto Insania as he tried to deny in his creep pool. Just ends up turning around, doing a lot of damage onto Insania instead. Insania's doing his job. He's just making sure that So Bad can't get any pulls off. Just want to make sure that quick equilibrium stays as close to tier 1 as possible. But in the mid lane, Tiger actually makes a rotation towards the mid lane. And then him and Koifa actually managed to pick up the first blood onto Tauron. He's just caught a little bit out of position there. Gets booted back into a very unfavourable spot. Spear also off the mark there from Collapse. Tiger's actually still hanging around in this mid lane, looking like he potentially wants to go for another setup onto Tauron. Koifa's going to kill that range creep just to try and drag Tauron a little bit closer. As soon as he steps over that threshold, I think Tiger would just dive onto him, but Tauron stays cautious and he won't put himself into a really awkward situation. Even Aposhka now spots him out. Able to see him coming. Meanwhile, up top. My bad guys, I'm missing everything. Mickey, he does get a kill onto Collapse, but he actually gets returned on. So follow-up kill there from So Bad, just evening the score a little bit. But even still, it's a kill going towards Mickey. Anything else just to pad out as much gold as he possibly can. So Bad, he actually even falls to Insania. Nice use of the skills of the Purifying Flames and the Fate's Edict. Fortune's End, sorry. Just quite a lot of kills happening in the early portion of this game already. Even Insania is able to get a nice pull off himself now, onto a double stack as well. So unless Collapse actually sees this happening, that's going to deny quite a bit of XP away from him. You will see it happen. Meanwhile, in the mid, So Bad and Aposhka is rotated around. They want to try and make something happen onto Koifa. There's not actually enough to bring Aposhka down. Koifa just barely survives, only on 20 HP himself. So a little bit of a failed gank there from Yellow Submarines. Good rotations from Tiger as well. Just creates enough space to get a return kill. You're up top. Mickey and Insania, they realise it collapsed all alone. So Bad went towards that mid lane. Just walking up towards him. Just applying as much pressure as they possibly can. Meanwhile, Collapse actually gets a spear onto Insania into the trees. There's no Spy Spirits online for So Bad to actually finish him off. It doesn't matter. God's Rebuke, there's enough damage to bring him down. It looks like Mickey and Tiger, they're trying to bring down Collapse as well, but there's so much tank. Even with the stick popped. Nice spin there. Spoils Mickey to the trees. He is actually going to fall himself. That actually ends up being a double kill going towards collapse. Lovely play there by Yellow Submarines. And that was even just before the 5-minute mark, so they're able to secure both the bounties up top. And there's even Maposhka down bottom securing both of them as well. So 4 bounties as well as 2 kills quickly going towards Yellow Submarine. And we immediately see him now catapulted up to that 2k gold lead. Just Liquid, they can't afford to make more mistakes like that. If they really start to let this Mars Phoenix lane get out of control, it's going to be even more difficult for Mickey to try and farm up. Meanwhile, Tiger roll forward. It looks like they will find Maposhka. There's nothing that a level 2 Enchantress can do to survive this. Just way too much damage. And he will actually fall. But even still, he gets those 2 bounty wounds anyway. Meanwhile, up top, Mickey and Sania doing quite a lot of damage onto collapse. Will actually end up falling with that last hit, which ended up being a crit. A little bit unfortunate there for him. But it was so bad. Trying to go for the finish onto Insania with the Sunray, but has to immediately cancel it as he was just going to end up throwing his life away if he tried to stick that one out. Meanwhile, down bottom, Yutaro is having a pretty decent time. Second on the CS chart. Moxley just permanently on 0 mana. The Potion is actually finally TP back down there. Looks like they might try and apply a bit of pressure onto him. Ooh, nice dodge there by Yutaro. Realising that Soul Ring was just about to come out. He needs to be careful though. Tiger's still here. He rolls forward, does actually miss. Torrent's actually rotating towards the top lane with his level 6 now online. Gonna see if they can get a grab onto Mickey. Well, Torrent's actually just gonna take the triple stack instead. Easy money. But while he's here, he can still make a move onto Mickey. He needs to be really careful. If he gets hit by a spear, it would be quite an easy jump. But that ward just gets completely spot out by Insania with his own ward placement. This is a Koifa now dominating the mid lane. Even though Toro is at the top of the CS charts, slightly little bit of a lead now for Koifa. Storms is mainly focusing on jungle now. Let's So Bad have a little bit of a solo XP in the mid lane at least. Tyrus actually had to rotate into the jungle now to farm up. And they will just leave a post score on his own. It's an easy kill for Tiger and Boxy to collapse on. Quite awkward for Yutaro to already be in the jungle, especially seeing as how he's only actually got the Ring of Health towards his Battle Fury. I thought he was having an alright time down bottom, but I guess maybe now that Soul Ring's online for Boxy, there's just always that availability of mana to do a lot of damage onto the AM. Oh, we're up top. Rena is committed. Does actually get the kill onto Insania. Collapse is able just to take that one solo. There's nothing that Mickey could do to provide any support. Oh, down bottom. Another kill falls onto the post go, but Torrent's actually already rotated around here. They're trying to focus down Boxy. The silence comes out just in time to stop the mana break coming out, but it still manages to finally come off. Boxy will eventually fall. Torrent getting that kill. There's still just a little bit more space for Yutaro now. Koifa's even able to focus down the tier 1 mid. At 9 minutes, definitely nice timing, but I mean, it's been such a long time since Toron was actually in that lane. He's just been off farming up creep stacks and focusing on the jungle. Definitely an interesting way of playing the Storm Spirit. But I suppose with the kill threat coming out from Tiger as well, being able to get an easy roll onto him, followed up by the stuns from the Familiars, this probably is just a little bit too risky to stay in the mid lane to farm up. So he has to find it elsewhere. He's doing an alright job though still. A third of his way through level 9 and Koifa's still about a quarter of his level towards his level 9. Goifus just immediately rotate down towards that bot lane. Just jumping from tier 1 to tier 1. And no one from the side of Yellow Submarines is going to come over here to try and contest this. This hoping Poshka tried to grab the bottom bounty, but Tiger was there just in time to stop that from happening. Doesn't have another rolling boulder forward to stop the Poshka from grabbing the triangle one, so they will eventually fall. Meanwhile, Yutaro and Collapse actually managed to get another kill onto Insania. Not exactly a high profile kill, but just more money going towards the pocket of the anti-mage. And it's going to free up enough space to try and take this tier 1 tower as well. It's taken quite a while. A Mars and an anti-mage are not exactly known to be the best tower scenes in the world. But Boxy immediately rotates around up here. Yutaro and Tauron immediately jump on top and burn away a large portion of his mana. But with those reactive armor stacks, it's not enough to actually bring him down. And he's able to get away. Silence comes in from Tiger, trying to lock down Yutaro. His blink comes off just in time, but he's still dropping super low. He will just fall to the familiars from Koifa, keeping chase. And they're still flying ahead. Will actually just about grab the stun onto Collapse. Another stun there coming out from Tiger, keeping him locked down in place. The air comes in the background just to provide a little bit of support for the rest of Yellow Submarines to try and fall back. He will actually just clip the stun onto Tiger and Insania. Both doing quite a good job. Tiger getting pretty low himself. He will eventually fall. Insania does drop as well from Tauron. And now it's just the rest of Yellow Submarines in full retreat. Mickey's even rotated around here now. Just enough mana to get one more zip away, get himself into the clear, and managed to dodge the gank that came up from Mickey. Even still, that was pretty damn close. But it does actually end up favouring Yellow Submarines ever so slightly. It does cost the life of Yutaro, but he's able to come straight back up here and farming up as the space was actually made. Even still, the farm between the two position ones is pretty damn identical at the moment. Only 30 gold between the two of them. Yutaro is still about, what's that, 600, 800. So he's still about 1400 gold away from finishing up his Battle Fury. Meanwhile, Mickey, he's only 1000 gold. So he will actually have his Battle Fury online much sooner. But Yutaro did actually end up going for a Wraith Band as well. So that is probably the slight gold disparity that is separating these two heroes at the moment. Collapse, he's got double damage, but he does get spot out by the ward. Immediate roll on is from Tiger. Even the Fortress End come out. Purges away that double damage. Collapse is trying to go for a TP out of it, and you think he will actually be able to get it off? With the stun that came out onto Boxy, there just wasn't enough damage between the two supports to bring him down in time. Still, Yutaro, he's getting close now. 800 gold away from that Battle Fury. As soon as that's online, he's just going full mode for that farming simulator. Meanwhile, pretty much exactly the same thing's going to be happening with Mickey though. That is the role of position 1. You farm, and you don't stop farming. So neither team feels pressured at the moment to try and make any sort of moves happen. They're both just sort of falling into the lull of trying to get their next items online. Koifa just diving in for that Assault Cuirass as his first big item. There's the Battle Fury now online for Mickey. So we're just going to see his farming speed accelerate massively. And until Yutaro actually manages to get his own Battle Fury in line, he's going to slowly start falling behind. But he should be pretty damn close to it. In fact, he has it coming out in the courier now. So an anti-mage with a Battle Fury 100% farms faster than a Juggernaut with a Battle Fury. Purely the fact that the blink just lets him get to those group waves so much quicker. Oh, Boxy. Looks like he tried to go for the bounty rune up top. He's taking quite a lot of damage from the Sun Ray, and a little bit of harass that comes out from the side of the YellowSubmarine. Think about trying to re-engage. Tiger actually rolls forward, does get the connection onto So Bad, silences him up as well. He won't be able to get his egg off in time before it runs out. They will just swap targets onto Boxy, and even the Mana Void committed there from Utaro, they will just bring him down. Insanely becomes the next target, and he will fall as well. So it ends up being the 2-for-1 favouring YellowSubmarines. And they only really use the Mars Arena to actually achieve that. I mean, sure, they used the Mana Void, but I mean, no one counts an anti-mage ultimate. Ugh, what? The anti-mage ultimate is literally there to steal kills. That's pretty much it. That's pretty much it. And I mean, the best target on the side of Liquid is the Visage. Actually, no, it is Boxy. Boxy has the largest mana pool. Purely the fact that he's had to take the Arcane Boots and the Soul Ring and everything else. So, a drained Timbersaw does actually do a fair chunk of damage. Was it 0.9 damage per mana missing. So, Boxy has 0 mana. It's 900 damage-ish. You got Tiger and Poifer making a move. They get Rolling Boulder connection with the silence on top of Utaro and the follow-up stuns from the birds. And that's actually enough to bring down the Anti-Mage before he can do anything about it. He is working towards that Manta style, but unfortunately it's still just a few grand away from actually finishing up. Liquid see their opportunity. They move in, they get the kill. Now they're even able to keep the pressure going. They're making a move onto Poshka, but Tauron actually flies in here himself. Tries to get a kill onto Insania, but he already gets the false promise off. Tiger's dropping low in response. He will eventually drop. We'll see if Insania lives. He actually goes straight back up to full HP. Claps nearly getting the final kill onto that familiar as well, but Spear was just off the mark. Even still, just ends up the Tiger falling on the Earth Spirit. So Mickey actually going for the S and Y. Just going to have that little bit of status resistant bonus. Reduce the stun time, the slow from the Mars, as well as Fire Spirits, the Electric Vortex from the Storm Spirit as well. Plus just making him generally a little bit more tanky. So bad he does actually find the ward. He will just about get the kill off before he ends up falling. So a ward for his life. Nah, definitely favouring Liquid a little bit there, but even still. You make sure he doesn't die for nothing. Looks like we will manage to siege this tier 1 tower up top, and that will be all the tier 1s for the side of YellowSubmarines being stripped away. Meanwhile, there's still 2 left for the side of Liquid, mid and bot lane. Looks like the Liquid actually just moved into the pit now. I don't think anyone on the side of YellowSubmarines realises this is going on. They do actually scan it, and they will see this happening, and this is by no means the fastest Roshan in the world. It's just hit half HP now. So if YellowSubmarines can get over here quick enough, they might be able to stop this from happening, but they need to hurry up. Now down to about third. And it will fall, and unfortunately YellowSubmarines did not get here in time, and they have to just go back. Mickey actually charges straight forward into the triangle to farm up. If YellowSubmarine knew he was alone, they'd been able to get such an easy kill onto him here. They probably had to set up for the double kill as well. It looks like they're going to try zip forward from Tauron, knocking him down in place, and that's the first life gone. The rest of Liquid needs to go over here super quick in order to keep him alive. The rest of YellowSubmarines, they choose actually not to overcommit, and they'll just let Mickey spin out of there. But hey, they still managed to take away the Aegis at least. So there is that little advantage they got from the Roshan gone, so it just ends up being 135 gold and a little bit of XP for everyone. fall from Tiger. Gets the connection onto Collapse. That's definitely not the easiest target to bring down. Electric Vortex cancels out the run of the boulder from Tiger, locking him down in place. Does eventually get it off, and the arena comes out. Only manages to make sure Insanely gets captured. And the rest of Liquid will be able to run away. But is this just more charges for Tauron's Bloodstone? Expecting an early Bloodstone at that. We got Collapse is really caught off in the front lines. Boxy just jumps straight in there with the heal coming out. Collapse is not enough to keep him sustained. Boxy's taking quite a bit of damage from the Sunray as well, but it's still just too much heals coming out. Oh no! Tauron actually zips in, trying to make something else happen, but he ends up getting caught by the stun in the back lines. So bad trying to go for a TP out, but there's way too much damage from Boxy and Mickey to bring him down. Even Poshko ends up falling as well. And that's 4 kills going towards Team Liquid. It's only Yataro who survives, and that was purely because he wasn't there at all. Just off farming on his own, doing what Anti-Mage does. So a good chunk of golden XP swinging back towards Team Liquid's favour. They're able to take down this tier 2. And they're going to be able to apply a bit of pressure onto this tier 3 as well. There's no glyph for another 4 minutes. We can definitely get a lot of damage onto this tier 3. They might actually be able to take a tier 3 before anyone from the side of YellowSubmarine is able to respawn. They're going to move straight onto the melee racks. YellowSubmarines, they're not able to respawn fast enough. Nice arena there by Collapse, catches absolutely everyone on the side of Liquid. He does actually end up costing him life, but they managed to get Insane in return, but that's it. And it's just Tauron trying to make a little bit of space in the backlines with the against Tiger. The egg pops, but doesn't catch onto anyone. And it looked fantastic there by Collapse. Absolutely amazing ultimate, but there was a 0 follow-up from the rest of YellowSubmarines, and Liquid's able to just run away. They get the melee racks, they get the range racks, and they bail, only losing Insania. And also getting a kill onto the Mars. Can't forget that. So, woo, really well played there by Team Liquid. It's now just completely swung this momentum in towards their own favour now. It's going to be a lot of weight on Yataro's shoulders now to really kick his farm up into another notch. He's working on for that Basher as his next item. Now he has the man at the start. We can't get caught out by these silences from the Tiger so easily. But Boxy's getting engaged on for the rest of YellowSubmarines. They're trying to focus him down, but the spear actually ends up missing. Even the false promise from Insania is trying to keep him alive as long as possible. But Boxy's not falling back. He keeps pushing forwards. He will just pop straight back up to full HP. And Team Liquid, they're just not going back. They do not want to let Yataro have any time to just free farm away. They just carry on sieging up to this tier 3 now. Zip forward from Tauron. Doesn't actually connect onto anyone. And the rest of Liquid, they will just disengage. They've done about 1/3 damage onto the tower. They see Yataro farming up in the mid. He does manage to take the tier 1. But there's just not anything available to try and lock him down. He's able just to walk it all off. Roll forward from Tiger. It actually does connect onto Tauron. He actually had the bottled illusion rune though, so he's able to purge off the silence and get himself away. But Liquid are just leaving no space at all. As soon as any sort of members from the side of YellowSubmarines leaves their base, they immediately start heading back towards this tier 3 tower. Subike feels really damn strong. He's got his Basher online. 1700 gold towards the Abyssal Blade as his next item. The backdoor protection does eventually come online, but it immediately gets cancelled as the wave does eventually come clear. So they're able to take the tier 3. Meanwhile, Yataro's up top, taking down the tier 3 of his own. But I don't think he's going to be able to do as much damage as Liquid are. They will get the melee racks, and they are just going to fall back. Probably see a couple of TPs committed to try and stop Yataro from taking away the tier 3 up top. They're actually not going to be able to stop him in time. So Yataro will find something in return for the rest of his team. The rest of Liquid just spread out now. Going to try and soak up anything else they can find. Yataro has now got his own Basher finished. So maybe he's feeling like he can try and make some sort of move with the rest of his team. They need to win some sort of favourable engagement. Mickey is up at the top, so this is going to be a 4-on-5 situation. This could be the best opportunity the YellowSubmarine's going to have. Ignite double stun though onto Tauren and Collapse. Finally the arena comes out. Traps Boxy and Tiger in place. They're taking a lot of damage. Nice Mana Void coming out. Boxy's got 0 mana left. Tiger will fall as the first target. So bad, trying to do as much damage as he possibly can with this Sun Ray onto Boxy. See if he's going to pop from this damage. Yutaro actually ends up getting locked down. Boxy barely survives. Jump forward from Tauren just to be able to finish him off. And now it's this Yellow Submarines in full retreat. First hit bash onto Tauren. Not enough to actually keep him locked down in place. Just enough mana to get one final zip away, and he might actually be able to survive this. Collapse even hiding in the trees, and he will blink in the right direction. Does have a TP available, but it looks like he might just head up for the next creep wave to try and just cut it out. Make sure this tier 2 backdoor protection comes back in line. Or maybe he's just going to try and get a flank on it. Goes to the back lines. Oh, he actually misses the spear onto Insania. And he gets double stunned in place by Coifer's Familiars. But there is the Sun Ray just to heal him up. Make sure that Liquid can't just try and get a quick kill onto him. So a little bit fortunate there for Insania that Collapse missed his spear. Otherwise that could have been him gone. And there may have been a Yellow Submarine's chance to swing themselves back into this game. So unfortunately that death on Yutaro just sets them back even further. Now 2.5 gold difference, 2.5k gold difference between him and Mickey. And Liquid, they just don't feel any need to go back at all. They're just keeping this pressure going. Take away the tier 2. Going to start heading towards that tier 3. Still no glyph, not for another 4 minutes. And the entirety of the Liquid squad is nearby, all just hanging around in this triangle. Maybe they're just going to wait for the next Roshan, potentially up in 5 seconds. We'll see what the actual spawn timer is going to be. It's actually 2 minutes 10, so it's still going to be a little ways from actually finishing up. Meanwhile, Tiger tries to get a grab onto Collapse, misses the ball, but he gets the All Scepter onto his head with the silence on top and the first hit bash. It is Collapse gone. He does have a buyback and he may be forced to use it, otherwise Liquid might just end up taking another lane of barracks here. Roll forward from Tiger again, misses Maposhka, and he's actually put himself into a really rough situation. Tauren gets the Electric Vortex grab onto him, and it will be the Earth Spirit falling. Now this Team Liquid has to go in full retreat. Collapse did buy back from this. Seeing if he can find anyone, but Boxy's just positioning himself between himself and the rest of the team, just to make that sort of big metal wall. But even still, the Liquid, the fact that they're 4v5 right now, but they still position themselves so aggressively just outside the tier 3. They feel like they've got a dump load of momentum in this game. Yutaro jumping onto Boxy, just trying to drain as much mana as he possibly can. In comes Mickey with the Abyssal Blade stun, and then the Omni Slash on top. Yutaro just vanishes in a second. He does have a buyback, and he will commit it now. He's going to start trying to make his way back into this fight. It looks like Collapse is getting caught out. This will be a dieback, and he's gone for 75 seconds. And it's even the buyback forced out for Yutaro as well. It's getting worse and worse now for Yellow Submarines. They'll even see Yutaro now. He comes out just to try and push out the wave as much as he possibly can. Tiger's keeping the chase going, realising he was going to be going for the next wave of creeps. But even still, Liquid don't care about creeps. They're just going straight for those barracks. Tier 3 melts in a second, working their way onto those melee barracks now. And that's going to be gone pretty damn soon as well. Nice Electric Vortex comes out for Tauren, grabs onto 3 of them, but there's no damage follow-up, and he just ends up getting stunned down in place. He's gone for 55 seconds, no buyback. But Poshka's the next victim to fall. And then to tap out, Yellow Submarines calls GG. They realise they're just way too behind in this game to bring themselves back into this. It's a lovely game there by Team Liquid. Just a good couple of early rotations from Tiger in the early portions of the game, just to get a couple of early kills onto the Storm Spirit, which just forces Tauren into the jungle, which sort of mitigates his farming speed a little bit. And mainly he's taken a lot of the stacks that were dedicated for the Anti-Mage, so because of that, Anti-Mage couldn't quite get his farm online fast enough, and he sort of ended up falling off in the end. But even still, very well-deserved victory there by Team Liquid. Definitely managed to rally themselves after that first game. They're pretty dominant showing for that second. So hopefully they'll do the same for the third game, sorry. And yeah, that should be up pretty damn soon. But yeah, hopefully they will produce another great showing for that and make a mighty fine game of Dotes to watch. But if you guys have enjoyed my stream so far, please think about subscribing, not subscribing, to my YouTube, my Twitch, and my Twitter. Do updates on whatever tournaments I'm going to be casting at the time. There are various different games and different tournaments. Who knows? It depends whatever I find at the time. But if you guys have enjoyed my content, hopefully you guys stick around and watch whatever comes up next. Well, what's coming up next will be Yellow Submarines versus Team Liquid. But even still, after that, hopefully you guys stick around. So see you later. Cheers.